awareness. Why should young drivers be concerned? So what I need you to do is be active in the chat, and let's go ahead and get it. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk about risk awareness. The first thing I need all of you to do is put in how old you are and how many hours of driving do you have. Again, we're talking about risk awareness. How old are you and how many hours of driving do you have? Most areas across the United States have a graduated license. This means you have to drive a certain number of months with a guardian. What up, E? You have to drive a certain number of months with a guardian, and this guardian is typically over 21. So I need all of you to put in how old you are and how many hours of driving do you have. Please go ahead and type that in right now. So we're talking about risk awareness. So if you're 16, that's 26. If you're 17, that's 27. If you're lucky enough to be here in 15.9, that's almost 26. So at the end of the day, it takes about 10 years for you to become a master. If you want to play the piano, it takes 10 years. If you want to be a really good video gamer, it takes 10 years. If you want to be a master at your sport, it takes 10 years. At the end of the day, high school is 48 months of your life. Many of you are in 10th grade. Some of you are juniors because you took driver's education late because you had anxiety or you were scared. So we're going to talk about all those things that you need to do to prepare you. So it takes 10 years. So all of you should have put in how many hours of driving do you have? How old are you? So let's go ahead and go through this. What is risk? Risk is the chance of death or injury or loss or damage. If you have an accident, you can damage your car. If you have an injury, you could break your leg. You could break your arm. You can't go to school, but you can take classes online. If you work and you can't get to your job, you're going to lose your job because you physically can't be there. And then the fast food company, let's pretend you work for Chick-fil-A. They don't really want you on crutches because if you slip and fall, you're a liability. So they're going to say, listen, we're just going to let you go because you are on crutches for 45 days. We can't afford to have you come in and slip and fall. So you're going to lose your job. So what does this mean? Risk is always present. You drive through your neighborhood. You drive to your school parking lot. You drive on your main road. Risk is present. People run lights. People don't pay attention. People are on the phone. Risk is always present. So I always need you to remember this. Let's keep going. Approximately 1 in 9 or 11% of 16-year-olds, but I need you to think about this in terms of 10 years. Okay? You're going to have a serious crash. So about 1 in 9 of you, 11% will have a serious crash before your 17th birthday. Approximately 1 in 7 or 14% of young drivers will be involved in a crash during the first 3 years of driving. What does this mean for you? You need to keep space. You don't need to tailgate. You need to stay focused on your task. You're not worrying about your little sister. You're not worrying about your little brother, relative. If you're running late, you call mom and dad. Mom and dad, I'm running late. Okay, honey, don't speed. Get home when you can. Mom and dad, the weather's really bad. I'm going to stay at my friend's house for about an hour or two. Okay, let us know when you get on the road. You need to communicate that. If you don't talk to your mom and dad, they're going to worry about you. Next, 16 to 17-year-old drivers, the risk of crash is at an all-time high the first 6 months. So the first 6 months, you're the most dangerous. You're going to run a light. You're going to tailgate. You will speed through a school zone. You're running late to school, you're going to speed down your block. You're running late home, you're going to speed through the school zone. You're running late to work, you're going to blow that yellow light. And if you get comfortable blowing yellow lights, you're going to end up crashing or getting a ticket. It's not if, it's when. So if you get comfortable running yellow lights, you're definitely going to get a ticket. You're definitely going to have an accident. I'm highlighting these elements. Some of these elements will be on your test. So I'm taking the time to go through very thoroughly. Okay, approximately 53 young drivers are involved in a fatal crash each year. This number could be higher. This number could be lower. 53 young drivers, fatal car crash. This means 53 young people die. Your age group has more accidents than a 25 to 35. Your age group has more accidents than a 35 to 45. Your age group has more accidents than a 45 to 55. So we're trying to change your behavior. This is why driving schools, this is why third-party driving companies have segment 2 to teach you the risk. And Ohio, Florida, and other states are making young people go back all the way up to age 21. So I'm letting you know this. The rules are changing for driver's ed because you are having, if we were in Ohio, I would see you at 21. If we were in Florida, I would see you at 21. It's not if it's going to happen, when is it going to happen? You guys might be spared, but I'm not going to promise you anything. I've already talked to my boss about this at the company. He doesn't think it's going to happen yet, but it will. Always love Jesus, real talk. So you got to be ready. The laws could change. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. Okay, type in driving rules, Florida, do people 21 have to go back? Yes, driving rules, Ohio. Look it up yourself if you don't believe me. Let's keep going. Every year, approximately 25,700 or 1 in every 8 of you are involved in a serious crash. How do you change this? You leave early. You learn to drive under control. You don't rush. You take your time. For every 2 miles driven, 2 miles driven, the average driver makes 400 observations, 40 decisions, and 1 mistake. A mistake could be you didn't use your blinker. A mistake could be you are tailgating. A mistake could be you cut off a car. So it happens to all of us. So you've got to really be aware of your environment. Research indicates that errors due to inexperience, please write this down. Errors due to inexperience. Drake, I didn't say you weren't a good driver. Caleb, I didn't say you weren't a good driver. But areas due to inexperience. You haven't driven to New York. You haven't driven to Texas. Maybe you've driven to Ohio. Maybe you've driven to Chicago. But those deep 3-hour, 5-hour, 7-hour, 10-hour drives, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to start going really fast or really slow, or you're going to have highway hypnosis. Okay? Remember, I'm an expert in the area and I want you to live. So inexperience, okay? That accounts for the largest amount of accidents and crashes in your age group. Hey, how are you doing? Let's keep going. The largest single category for driver errors involves visual search. You don't see the truck pulling out. You don't see the pedestrian in downtown Chicago, downtown New York, downtown Dallas, Texas, downtown Detroit. You didn't see the pedestrian come out. So, search, lack of attention, eyes are focused in the right direction. Failure to adjust speed. If you're in the downtown area, you need to be going 10. You need to be going 5. Traffic, curves, slick surfaces. It's going to be cold soon. We're in the Midwest. We're enjoying a hot fall. But you know, around late November, late December, it's going to be ice. It's going to be snow. So you need to be aware. You got to leave early, but you're not. You're going to get up usually late. So let's look at this. Approximately 127 16, 17-year-olds are involved in fatal crashes as a driver, passenger, or pedestrian each year. This number could be going up because this data is old, or this numbers could be, they're not going down. They're going up. There are accidents every day, fatal accidents every day. So this is going to be on your test. You should be listening. Where do crashes occur for drivers? And we say young drivers, if you've never driven, it's going to take 10 years. If you're 17, 27. If you're 16, 26. If you're 15, 9, 25, 9, that's 26. If you're 27, 37. Add 10 years. Well, it doesn't take 10 years. Add 10 years. You haven't driven in fog. You haven't driven in an ice storm. You haven't driven in rain. You ever driven in heavy stop and go traffic stuck on Interstate 94, stuck on Interstate 75? Okay, when I was in Texas, there is a hurricane and tornadoes. Okay, the East Coast is getting slammed. I was watching the Weather Channel. It's true. We live in a Midwest. We don't have earthquakes. We really don't have floods. Down south, they do. Approximately 52% of young driver-fatal car crashes happen in the daylight. You're probably saying, what? Yes, in the daylight. You're not paying attention. You're driving around. My student driver almost rear-ended a car today. He's like, I can't see, I can't see. I said, well, you're about to hit a car. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, just think about that. I can't see, I can't see. Slow down. Cover your brake. Have on your visor. The most dangerous time to drive for young driver-fatal car crashes is 2 to 5. I will agree with that. We were driving 4:30 to 6:20. Heavy traffic. Stop and go. Stop and go. People cutting us off. They don't have time to worry about student drivers. They don't have time to play with us. They're cutting us off. I got to get home. I got to pick up my daughter. I got to go get chicken. I got to go get dinner. My wife is saying, honey, you got to pick up our twins and get dinner. Oh my God. Yes, you're going to do that because one day you're going to have a family. And Drake, you're going to have to pick up your twin daughters at daycare. He's like, okay. And you're going to have to get dinner and get groceries. Facts. It's going to happen. So that 2 to 5 is the most dangerous time. Okay, how do you survive? You keep space. You take your time. You go at a steady, smooth pace. Let's keep going. 38% of young driver-fatal car crashes happen on Friday and Saturday night. Type in why that happens. Why do 38% of young driver-fatal car crashes happen Friday and Saturday? Type it into the chat. Again, this is an interactive class. I'm not here just talking. Why do fatal car crashes happen to young drivers Friday and Saturday? Type it in. I'm going to keep going because we got a lot of stuff. Friday night, you turning up. Hey, we turning up. We going into the districts. We're traveling down to Kentucky for the regional. We're playing this team in New York, but you're about to lose. You're playing a team in Ohio, King James team. You're about to lose. They got a 6'10 recruit going to Michigan. They got a 6'8 point guard going to Kentucky. You're going to lose by 50 with Grace. So you will travel. If you have a good powerhouse high school, your coach will schedule teams in New York, teams in Ohio, teams down in Florida. Okay? The IGA Academy. Those are some of the best high school juniors and seniors in the nation. They play teams all over the country. They take private buses. One young man tonight, he was talking about baseball. I'm like, you're 5'4". Why are you talking to me? No cap. One of my former students plays baseball at Michigan State. He's 6'5". He's a pitcher. He throws 100 miles an hour. I taught him how to drive. He's at Michigan State. Another young man is at a smaller D2. Why am I telling you this? Because you want to dream. Friday and Saturday, people are partying. They're having fun. You're supposed to. You're young. You're not married. You did your homework. Most of you. The months of May, June, and July account for 1/3 of all fatal car crashes. May, June, and July. Seniors are leaving. You remember, you only have 48 months of high school. You can count it up. 48 months of high school. 48 months. Your clock is ticking. Approximately 24% of all young driver-fatal car crashes occur on dark, unlit roads. 19% of young driver-fatal car crashes happen to 9 p.m. to midnight. You're tired. You fall asleep. This is why you're under a graduated license. 15% of young driver-fatal car crashes happen midnight to 6 a.m. You should be home by 10. No, I'm not. Well, you're going to get caught. They won't do anything to me. Keep on going. They will. The state police are doing a lot of crackdowns on speeding, reckless driving. Where do crashes occur for young drivers? Country roads, 68%. 6% of young driver fatal car crashes happen on the interstate. You're going too fast. You fall asleep. You hit a slick spot. 95% of young driver fatal car crashes happen at 55 or less. So you don't have to be speeding to crash. 14% of young driver fatal car crashes occur on roadways with the speed limit of 35 or less. You're rearing into the car. The most common type of collision for all of you is a rear-end collision or side swipe. 71% of young driver fatal car crashes happen with no traffic control device. You below a yield sign. You're speeding through your neighborhood. 10% of young driver fatal car crashes happen where a traffic control device is in effect. You below a yellow light. You're tired. Your boss warned you. You come late to Chick-fil-A again, you're going to get a write-up. One more write-up, you're fired. You're going to get your last paycheck on Friday. You just ordered the new Xbox. It's got a 4090, cost $1,000. Oh, but you won't be able to pay for it. 47% of young driver fatal car crashes occur on a straight-away road. 10% on curves. What does this mean? Slow down. Take your time. Okay, making left turns are very dangerous. As an instructor, left turns are the most dangerous. Please type in how many hours of driving you have. Type in how many hours of driving. Again, let's type in how many hours of driving you have. 17% of young driver fatal car crashes occur at a stop sign. Again, type in how many hours you have. We got about 6 more sheets. Pay attention. Young drivers plus passengers equal increased risk. We're talking about risk awareness. Why should you be concerned? The more people you have in the car, the more likely you are to crash. Crash risks, the risk of fatal car crashes involving 16-year-olds or 17 or 18 or 20 or 25. If you're a new driver, you're a new driver. 40%. If you have one passenger, it's 86%. If you have two, it's 182%. 3, it quadruples. So the more people you have in the car, the more likely you are to crash. Please put your questions in as I go along with this. I want you to have fun with this live and put questions in. So what does this mean? You limit the number of people in your car. Reduce the number of people in your car. Fatal car crashes involving young novel drivers, approximately 2/3 of those killed are the passenger, other drivers, or pedestrians, with occupants in the young driver's vehicle accounting for 49% of the fatalities. So basically, you kill your friend. Basically, Alice, you kill your friend. Isabella, basically, you kill your friend. Indy, basically, you kill your friend. I didn't mean to, but your friend's like, look at this dog dancing. Look at the coach getting fired. Look at the Detroit Lion who got cut from the team because he hit one of the players. He got cut because he hit someone. He got cut. It happens. $1 million contract. Done. Don't lose your freaking temper. Let's continue. What types of vehicles? I need you to type in what type of car are you driving? The year, make, and model. Please don't say, I don't know. Type in the year, make, and model of the car you're driving. I do have a car. I have a 2025 Equinox. I have a 2019 Explorer. So put in the year, make, and model of car you have. In fatal car crashes involving young drivers, 56% of vehicles are 10 years old. So I'm looking at what you type in. A 2016 Grand Cherokee, about 10 years old. We not mad. A 2024 Ford Explorer. Okay. You should be typing in what you have. 2009 Jetta. It's a safe vehicle, but it's more than 10 years old. We not mad. 2018 BMW 330i, safe vehicle, almost 10 years old. We not mad. A 2014 Prius, very safe vehicle, a little bit small. We not mad. A 2015 Ford Taurus, thank you. Pretty safe vehicle. We are not mad. I'm just looking at the type of vehicles you have. 2016 Suburban, bigger vehicle. A 2020 Dodge Charger, not mad. Insurance is probably a little bit high. Let's keep eating. 2008 Honda Accord, safe vehicles. Okay. So many of you are driving cars, about half of you are driving cars that are 10 years old because your parents' insurance would be really high. So if you have a job, put job into the chat, please. If you have a job, I have about 5 more slides. If you have a job, put job into the chat. Please, if you have a job, put job into the chat. About a third of you are like, yeah, I work. I got to pay my insurance. I got to put gas in my car. My mom and dad said, if I want to drive, I got to get a job. They're going to help me the first few months, but better get that JOB if you want to be with me. So in fatal car crashes, young drivers, 16% are driving vehicles that are 15 years old or older. Some of you are driving vehicles that are 15 years old or older. We're not mad. Unfortunately, less than half of young drivers are driving the types of vehicles recommended for them are mid-size or large passenger. The Subaru Impressive, is the Subaru's a good brand name. It's probably a mid-size, smaller mid-size. Thank you, Caleb. Okay, got that job. I want to see a few of you with jobs. The Audi A6, very nice vehicle, a little bit small, but nice. I'm not mad at that Audi. They're good. Teenage vehicle owners are more likely to drive more miles, take more risks, receive more traffic violations, and be involved in more crashes. What types of crashes are young drivers involved in? Single cars, 2 or more vehicles, head-on collisions, and rear-end collisions. Take a moment and write this down. I'll say it again. If you're a young driver, let's just say from 15.9 to 25.9, takes 10 years. 16.9 to 26.9, 10 years. If you've never been in a car, add 10 years. Some of you live in different parts. It takes time. I appreciate those hearts. Let's keep it going, guys. I really appreciate that. Keep it going. So rear-end collisions are common because you're not paying attention. Head-on crashes are the most dangerous. Fatal car crashes, you ran a light, broadsided. You're going around a curve, you lose control. In the wintertime, you're really late to school, late to work. Your teacher in first hour doesn't play. You got 9 absences, 11 answers. You get 1 more, you lose credit. Single vehicle incidents compared to 32%. So young drivers are having more accidents than the standard population. Most common road and weather conditions when fatal crashes occur, fair weather. The weather's pretty good in your age group crashes. 71% of young driver fatal car crashes happen on dry roads. You're speeding or you're not paying attention. 10% in the rain. 6% snow. You would think it's opposite. 1% fog. The last time I drove a student in fog was probably 3 years ago. And I said, man, this is a great opportunity. A little bit nervous. We took our time. It was fog. So that was about 3 years ago. I'm being honest as an instructor. 17% of young driver fatal car crashes happen on wet roads. 4% of young driver fatal car crashes happen on icy roads. Don't worry, I'm going to give you a quiz in a moment to see if you're really paying attention. What other factors contribute to young driver fatal car crashes? Gender, that's male or female. Seatbelt usage. We know males don't put on seatbelts as much. And then, of course, consumption. 64% of young driver fatal car crashes are male. Males tend to drive more aggressive, much faster. Okay? When did they let your mom out? Clocked your T. Let's keep going. So males tend to drive more faster, much more aggressive. Females, you're not far behind. You like to drive fast cars too. So males tend to drive much more faster, much more aggressive. 13% of young drivers, you don't wear your seatbelts. You're going to be thrown from the car, and the odds of you living are very, very small. 8% of young driver fatal car crashes happen when you're consuming. We're going to get through this part, and then I'm going to quiz you. Distracted driving occurs anytime a driver takes their eyes off the road. Check the time. Look at your phone. Get something to eat. When you take your eyes off the road, the chances of you crashing do increase. You take your hands off the wheel. Okay? Your primary task is driving. Effects of distracted driving are: 1, slow perception may cause drivers to be delayed in perceiving or failing to perceive an important traffic event. You're driving on I-95. You're going to Florida. You are in Atlanta, Georgia. All of a sudden, there's a huge traffic slowdown. You're not paying attention. You're rearing the car. You're down at Daytona Beach, Florida. You made it. You see a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls. You're not really paying attention. You sideswipe a car. Number 2, delayed decision-making can cause a driver's decision-making process to be delayed or cause the driver to choose an action inappropriate. It's raining on the way to Florida. Speed limit 75. It's a heavy downpour. You're still driving 75. You lose control. Hydroplane. You know what to do, but you didn't react fast enough. Let's keep going. Number 3, improper action can cause drivers to delay in taking intended action or making incorrect inputs. Steering. I know it's long, but I don't care. We're getting through half of this. We actually have 3 more pages. Half today, half next time. Inattention occurs when a driver's inattention drifts away. You're tired. You're hungry. You want to drive straight through 5 hours. You only driven 2 hours. You're tired. Drifts away from driving without having been influenced by the activity. Mental, emotional. You lost your girlfriend. You lost your boyfriend. Okay? You didn't pass your state test. Your professor texts you. I'm sorry to inform you that you didn't pass the class. You're going to have to take it over. Distractions cause young drivers to concentrate on things other than driving. Your friend sent you a text. Your boyfriend's cheating. Girlfriend's cheating. Your parents are getting a divorce. Your big brother said, listen, mom and dad are fighting. You need to come back. It's really bad. You're almost to Florida. Most of you probably say, I'm going to go to Florida. I need a break. But you're thinking about your mom or dad. Mental distractions, activities that take your mind away. Conversations, someone talking. Physical and mental distractions play an even greater chance. While driving, the distraction has the potential to cause young drivers to crash, particularly under 20. All of you are under 20. You have to make it to 21. On the phone, the first thing, it diverts your attention away from the driving task. I have hands-free, so what? Looking away at the road, using one hand to drive in order to dial a number. Affect and maintain proper length. Don't worry, I'm going to hit you with a quiz in a moment. I'm going to see who's listening. Impact on ability to perceive problems. You're driving through Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, New York, Texas, Florida. Okay? Heavy traffic. Your GPS quit. You didn't charge your battery. You're scared to admit to your friends. You drive an hour and you lost. Reduce situational awareness. The ability to execute emergency maneuvers. I need you to tap in 3 things you learned right now that I went over. Type in 3 things, complete sentences. Do that right now. This has been a very impactful day. We've learned a lot. Our topic is risk awareness. When should young drivers be very concerned? And those of you who are watching, if you're 21, that's 31. If you're 26, that's 36. If you're 31, that's 41. If you're 36, that's 46. I have a wide variety of you, and I do appreciate you. And in terms of being aware, you're here to get better. We're not here trying to cap on someone, clock their T, right? We're here to learn how to drive. You are taking the time to listen to this live because you want to learn how to drive. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I'm going to give you real life information to help you be your best authentic self. And by me taking the time to go over this in detail with scholarly sources, you're really going to become a good driver. And I really want you to understand that. You need to subscribe to the channel. Why? I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults and teens, have over 24 years of experience. I'm trying to really prepare you for the next part of your life. But the only way you can get all these updates is subscribe. And you need to smash that subscribe button and then punch the bell notification. Look at this information, look at all the videos, ask questions, and then be your best authentic self. Bye.